Okay, so the presentation for ITI UNESCO Network Secretariat. First, I will briefly introduce the network background to our new members. Okay, this network is founded in 2015 under the agreement between the ITI and the UNESCO. It's part of the UNESCO Unity Cooperation Program. To bring about a global network in the performing arts, we need to go through the different steps. Step one, we need to put together the strategy and the goals about this network and doing the paper and submit it to the UNESCO. Here, I need to give a special thanks to the direct goalman from Georgetown University and Williamson Gong Baorong from Shanghai Theatre Academy. It's thanks for their big efforts. Then we were able, and together with the Tobias Biancone, we are able to submit a beautiful plan to the UNESCO. And then we got advised by the Unity education sector of the UNESCO, and then we got approved. So we signed a contract together with the, at that time, I think is the Irina Bokova is the Director General of the UNESCO, and Tobias Biancone, the Director General of ITI, and the representative from the founding members. You can see at that time we have 15 founding members who signed the contract together as a founding member of this network. And then we needed to developing very well about this network. So every 2 years, the network needs to report its activities to the Unity to receive the renewal of the agreement. This year, in the March, we received this letter from the UNESCO office. The agreement has been renewed and for an additional period of the 4 years until 2024. So this is a very encouraging news for us. UNESCO also approved me as a coordinator of the network to undertake all the communication between network and UNESCO. So now I introduce you the mission of the ITI UNESCO network. So in this network, what we should do is always need to follow this mission. We needed to make the education in the performing arts accessible to all population of students, to promote the professional education in the performing arts, to develop and share innovative model, and to exchange knowledge and the best practice, to support higher education in the performing arts all over the world, and to protect the intangible cultural heritage in the performing arts, and to advocate for peace, mutual understanding, and respect through education in the performing arts in alignment with the goal of the UNESCO and ITI, and to bring together students and educators for the benefits of the performing arts. So this, I consider our event now is totally aligned with these goals. So this slide shows you the members from this network. Currently, we have 16 floor members. Where they are located, who are they, where they come from, which is the nature of their institutions, you can see through here. And the detail category is from here. You can see we have like from among the 16 floor, we have 56 members. They belong to the university or academy or higher education institutions. And the 13 is the how to say, the professional university for the it's like a specific university for the profession for the performing arts. And then we also have the comprehensive university, which in their university they have their dance or theater department. Of course, we also have the member which is categorized as an alternative performing arts institution. So they have the performing arts education or network. So most of them already did their presentation at the previous 4 days. And if you want to know them more, if you want to have the detailed name list, please go to this ITI network website and download all the information. Okay, so this is the activity we need to do, and through this we can reach and achieve our goals. So we should organize a statutory meeting, such as network congress, general assembly, board meeting, which is we already done since 2015. And then we also need to think about the students, to organize events for the students, so such as students festival.
So I start this open session with giving the floor to all. There is a rapporteur who talks about the breakout session. So I start with playwriting, dramaturgy. Janice Poole, can you report what you discussed and decided and the ideas you had?
Thank you, Tobias. Well, we have a very small group of us, and we have a very intimate sharing just now. We started with sharing the theater situation in our country. And in Hong Kong, we basically go back to normal, but in other countries, in Brazil and in India, it seems that things are not the same. And we gradually shared, the theater experience during the pandemic, especially some online theater experiences that we had. And one of the members shared that after the pandemic, of course, during the pandemic, we saw a lot of online theater, but after that, friends and people are more eager to go to physical theater than ever, because we treasure so much, about going back to the theater and going with people. And so we basically, in terms of dramaturgy and playwriting, we talk some of the important materials and elements in terms of this online theater making. Say, for example, the concern of time, the audience attention span, and the writing of it as well. Especially when you have to do performances in a comparatively shorter span, and the kind of intensity of playwriting and and the reception from the audience will be a bit different when you are looking at watching a performance online compared to watching a performance in a theater space. And most importantly, we shared that nowadays playwright is very important. We need more support for playwrights, especially for writing in different forms of theater. And dramaturgs are ever more important as well, especially like the context here in the ITI. We are encountering theater makers from different cultures and different countries, and dramaturgs and the dramaturgical sensibility can play a role here into connecting people together and into making theater together as well. So these are basically the brief summary of what we have shared. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janice. So then social theater, community theater, Fabio and Roberta, who is doing the report?
Okay, I can do. Okay, it's a very interesting and important meeting. It's the first time that we have the opportunity to meet each other about social theater in the context of the network. And we have expressed the need to promote a common activities, to share news about this topic, so essential and important in this moment. We had a lot of intervention that has discussed about the different experiences, about theater in conflict zones, theater in prison, theater with a diverse ability, and other aspects are essential and important. And also we have decided to increase the common, to share news about this topic, and also, like many other friends have asked from Sudan, for example, to promote the opportunity to know what is happening all over the world about this topic so essential. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fabio. Next one is teaching method. Dimitri Trupochkin, are you around? Yes, I see you. Dimitri,
Yes,
please.
yes. Thank you, Tobias. We had a very interesting discussion, just a very warm and small circle of members, less than 10. It was very inspiring, and we touched upon a few problems concerning tradition and contemporary methods of teaching first, then communicating within the situation of intercultural world, and how we use methods of different cultures to teach our students. And of course, then we moved towards the problem of online teaching, which was quite interesting, and we discussed some pros and contras with very interesting ideas and the situation that is calling us to continue discussions, of course. And when we received our sign that it was only 5 minutes before end and then 1 minute before end, I suggested to share the ideas, what was very much happy about teaching last days in December. And we started to share and then moved into the common room. So it was quite inspiring and quite good. Thank you so much. Thank you to all participants.
Thank you, Dimitri. Thank you. So, Prasad from interdisciplinarity.
Yes.
What do you have to tell us?
We had a very, very, very engaging and intriguing session. We were a small group, and the small group allowed us to speak a lot. Everyone got enough time to speak about the idea they have and what we were thinking about this idea of interdisciplinarity and interdisciplinary approach in the context of theater. One of the things that has evolved in the discussion was we need to break the barriers of traditional theater and traditional theater teaching practices, traditional theater practices. That it is more important now, and especially after experiencing the last 2 years, that we do not stick to only the traditional ways of theater making, but we should also look at other possibilities. And we also entered in the area of theater for social change and community theater kind of work, which I will talk in a moment. Another thing that was coming up through all the conversations was it was focusing around why do we do theater? What is the purpose of theater? Why exactly we want to perform, or why do we want to teach? I mean, what is the reason behind it? And once we start investigating it more, we start looking at more possibilities and more approaches of theater making, and engaging with different kinds of communities, with different kinds of people, not only, as Edin mentioned, not only sticking to the national theater and Shakespeare and Moliere. I mean, they are great, but at the same time, we also need to look at other aspects and other possibilities that happen in theater. And of course, the healing effect that theater brings in, what David Peng from Shanghai Theatre Academy, he brought in a lot about his work with the mental health institution in Shanghai, and how the entire theater making can actually help individuals. I know it gets into the area of therapy and applied theater and other areas, but that is what the interdisciplinarity is all about. I mean, one needs to look beyond the traditional ways or traditional thoughts when one starts thinking about theater training or theater making or theater research for that matter. When we were talking about this community theater and theater for social change, the theater in prison came into discussion, theater for mental health, theater for immigrants. Simon was with us, very young student from Zurich. He spoke about his experiences of working with the immigrants who are seeking an asylum in Switzerland. And this whole thing tells me that knowingly or unknowingly, we are also talking about psychology, we are talking about sociology, we are talking about philosophy. It doesn't remain only restricted to the university understanding of the curriculum of theater, but it starts going beyond just theater making. One more interesting thing that came up in the conversation was that how different disciplines merge together to form a body of a new discipline, which was also an interesting thought. That if we think of, for example, even if we think of theater, we think of music, we think of dance, we think of literature. So there are several other disciplines which come together to build something new. So interdisciplinarity is in a way a part and parcel of every discipline. The only thing is we need to look at it in that way. That is the gist of what we spoke about, and all of us have decided to keep in touch, and maybe we will continue these conversations on emails and on other online platforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prasad Vanarase. Thank you very much. Jong-Wen, can you give a brief report about the international international collaboration? Is it okay?
Oh, it's a difficult task for me, but I try. Okay, so for our breakout session, we have around like less than 20% stay. People is keen for the collaboration. So what we said is like collaboration have the different level. For example, for this kind of the event, this is already collaboration for the people to know each other. This is the first level, but we also would like to find the second, the more deep level of the collaboration. That means with some theme, with some specific projects to deepen this collaboration. And then we got a very exciting idea from Lavant, and which he proposed. We tried, and all the institutions tried to unite together to offer the placement for the grade 8 students who needs, no, for the students who is going to grade 8 and needs to do the stagiaire. So he proposed if the different institutions or research center or academic can offer such kind of the internship place for our students who can already make what they are learning on the practical, on the practice. So this is very inspiring, and we also discuss about the possibility of this. And then what we think is if our members, some of them can offer it's always a question of the funds, okay? But we also realize the funds is not only one way, it's not only the money, it also can be the different the way to give the support. For example, offer the place, for example, to host the students, for example, to offer the tutor to lead the students. This is also kind of the funds. So this idea we are going to continue to develop and to see how we can make it happen. Of course, the funds is always the very key factor for all the projects. So this we need to continue to develop. And then also we speak about the conference, because the next year we were not able to do we consider the world were not open, then we still need to have some activities. So why not we begin to do the thematic conference online, prepare it, and then develop it as this is as like kind of the first part, and then develop it offline the year after. This is a little bit what we discussed. If I forget something, please add. Tobias.
Okay.
Yeah.
I add, like Chris said, like how to connect the students with employers was something that, and then Jason Hale said something about a student festival he's organizing, and also about a workshop for virtual performing arts and ancient Greek dramas. I think that's something from weekend. And we were also picking up from Yerevan, like again, a mobility program.
Mobility, yes, sorry.
Yes. And I said like this is a little bit like an open call. Like we need for a place in the future where we can do the General Assembly with a conference, and we need to see if there is a possibility to do a student festival, and we can also discuss if we should do. And Chris, I take your idea with it. If we could do a festival for dance and non-verbal theater, like non-verbal theater forms, mime, etc., etc. I think this is something we should envision, and this should not be online. All of this should be, if it's possible, face to face with audience. This was thank you, Chong Wen. This was what we were discussing in international collaboration session. Thank you, Chong Wen. Now we go a little bit more into the open space, but not yet the real open space. What we try to do in the network and in the board, and also when you look at the website, you see there are quite a lot of projects we try to push on. And there is one common issue for all the projects that we want to do, that are already started or that will start now. And that is that we create a working group, project group who works together. It's not the idea that, let's say, somebody just says, okay, I have my idea, I have the funds, I want just to do this. No, it's the idea that we work together and give voice to everybody. So I have 3 of the existing A projects who will shortly inform what they want to do. And I would like, is Levan Ketaguri is around? Yes, I see him. Yes, Levan, can you talk about the Performing Arts Education Journal that we think about already since 4 years, I think, or 3 years? Levan,
well, I will share now the PowerPoint presentation. Did you see it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I think that we start discussion about this project, as Tobias mentioned, already 4 years ago. We already make some kind of advanced research, and there is not one common professional journal for performing arts and in high education. There is no journal who will be talk about methodologies, about teaching practices, and already ideas of professionals in this field, and many other related issues. It's why Tobias at Secretariat as well board support this idea to develop. We're still looking for partners, we're still looking for funders, which is very important. But anyway, we would like to start next year as the pilot editions. And this is already the pilot, let's say, design, how it might be looks, the first 3 editions, um, possible 3 issues, which I will present later of this short presentation. But just to explain more in details, I think it's important to talk what is it, that it is a periodical focusing on performing art education journal. Its going is to inform educators, artists, researchers, and students about performing arts education. The authors of the articles for the journal are provided by 2 sources: the members of the academia and practitioners of the performing art, and already I think well-known artists who can share their practices to new generation, and other materials provided by the members of the ITI UNESCO network. What is published in issue, the journal publishes articles on all aspects of performing art education. Each issue of the journal is dedicated to one main theme: interviews with selected educators, information about the ITI UNESCO network and its members, information about the ongoing and planned projects of the ITI UNESCO network, calls for participation of festivals, competitions, conferences, co-projects, cooperation, etc., job opportunities, grant opportunities, it given one institution to present itself. What is the organizational structure of this journal? This is, of course, let's say, sample. It could be discussed between the members. On our point of view, it looks like editor or editors-in-chief, board of editors, guest editor for each issue related to the main theme, layouters, text editors, spell checkers, administrators, account, etc., database and promotion coordinators, host university for volume. We already discussed that it's already possible to have one university as host for the volume, who can cover expenses for specific edition of the journal, etc. What are the next steps? On our mind, it's creation of the board of the editors, creation of administrative structure, decision by the board about the main themes, content and deadlines, fundraising, budget, call for articles together with rules and guidelines for submitting articles, etc. As I mentioned, we discussed possible three first volumes. One of them might be dedicated to the social theater, another one to the online education, and third one to the diversity in performing art. But of course, topics could be discussed between the members, but always it could be related with ongoing process and all ongoing needs and necessities. And if you have proposals or questions, you can always write to me directly, and I will try to respond on your questions. And already for the articles and for the next call, I hope that Secretariat will take care to distribute this information between the ITI UNESCO network, and we hope very much on your support and sharing your ideas with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Levan.
Can we just, excuse me, put back the email for 1 second? Just the email for Professor Levan. 1 more second, if we can go back to the slide.
I will write you in the chat my email for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good. So the next is hybrid theater education or online education, Christine Schmalor.
Yes, hello. I will just so you can see the screen. Everyone sees the screen, yes? Yeah? Okay, wonderful. Yes. So just to have a nice background for the speaking, the project Hybrid Theater Education was initiated in 2018 at our conference. The World Theater Training Institute started in 2017 with a hybrid theater training platform, which was quite exotic at that time. And in 2018, it was met with interest and also a little bit why we need it. So it was it was the time before Corona. And then Corona came, and just a sudden we became experts in the field, and we created immediately an online conference for theater training. I just put now all the pictures in because I was very glad to see a lot of those who spoke at this conference now in our network presenting their institutions. It met enormous interest in this moment. Interesting that in the beginning, it was nearly enthusiasm about the possibilities of online training. This enthusiasm, of course, has changed. Still, from this conference, it was 3 days with nearly 300 people each day as active participants listening to those speakers. And we made a documentation on it. And you are very welcome to get it. I will put in the chat once more how to get it. It's to download if you're interested. But of course, it's already the thinking in the spring, summertime of 2020. The Institute then immediately took initiative and created an online academy. We see us always as a supporting character for the whole network, to share expertise, to be open for the other partners, for you all to join there to get inspiration for your own work. So now, what is now, we can say this whole this whole working group has to redefine itself, because the situation, the reality changed a little bit the program. So that I think after the pure online time, what everyone experienced, it's quite interesting to come back to the idea of hybrid education, meaning the combination of online and offline, which can be very interesting, I think, also for collaborations between us, because mainly people have not so much the possibilities to move in any case, or to move for a long time. So you can meet online and then meet for a very intensive short time. These are then possibilities for collaboration between 1 or 2 or 3 partners. Very concretely, there is one project in the tube. It's about the training program for acting and directing teachers. We call it the Art of Training. And this is meant, and I openly say it, if someone now here in the network is interested in a program for training the trainers in a hybrid format, please approach me. It's about to start, and we are honestly and looking for more partners to launch this program. Then you can see I listed just some possibilities, what we have. All of this, I think, is the possibilities of collaborations between us in the network. We don't need to be always together at the same time. I think there is also a big chance to use this tool for the different working groups, because it's the tool. And finally, I think it's the time, and I just mentioned it in the working group, that if we take a little bit more a break to think about what all happened online, what is useful, what is not useful, what should be developed and what not. So I think I would like to launch more methodological research, evaluation, and my proposition for the next meeting to make some sort of symposium or colloquium to really exchange the possibilities, what we have with this tool and what we don't want to have. So this is my asking to you all. Join the work group if you're interested in it. Call me or connect with me if you're interested in the project collaboration. This is my contacts. I will put them then also in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christine Schmalor. Can you put your email also in the chat, huh? So that everybody has.
This is what I just said. I will just put now all connecting things.
Very good. Okay, so the next project Gong Baorong will present, and the title is Silk Road. And I want to say, like, Silk Road probably was with me the whole life, because the Silk Road brought us tea, and I love tea, especially Chinese tea at the moment. And Silk Road was basically a road from the east to the west and from the west to the east. And it was also interesting that the Silk Road, when you look in Wikipedia and other sources, it was trade, that was one thing, and culture was the other thing. And I look with big interest to what Gongbarong is telling us about the Silk Road project. Please, Gongbarong.
Thank you very much, Tobias, for giving me this opportunity to present STA's project Silk Road. You just has presented very well, because this project is also initiated together or conceived together with ITI. I think that the main objective is to promote traditional theater forms of all the network schools country. This project is launched, I think, since the very beginning, and we have did a lot since at least 2018. And this year we still make it happen online because of the pandemic situation. And we'll continue to do it next year. Concretely, what we'll do, I will ask Jiali to introduce it, because she knows well how we do it. Jiali, please present it.
Charlie, you have to open the microphone, Charlie, please.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Jiali from Shanghai Theatre Academy. The Belt and Road project is actually part of the project we have proposed to the network. We have started the project from last year. We were trying to build a platform of online course where all the member schools eventually can share their courses online. So STA has started to make the first one. And the first one is about Chinese traditional performing art, Peking opera. We have already done this as a short summer program during middle of June to the beginning of July. It was about 3.5 weeks, and we had students not only from the Belt and Road countries, but actually all over the world. Let me just show you a short video, a short promotion video of the program. Okay. Okay, let me share my screen. So we used to have a summer school program for, we have it already for more than 10 years, but it has always been an offline program where all the students come to Shanghai to study together. But because of the coronavirus, and then also our project, online course project with the network, we have made this online course that we wanted to share with all the member schools. So this year we already built 11 lectures and 1 lecture from Shanghai University of Sport, where they have shared Tai Chi class with us. And we have 4 interviews with expert professionals with of first grade, national first grade actors. And also we have workshops where the teachers, they record their movements and things, and then they also teach the student on Zoom, where they can coach the students one by one. And we also have tutorials to book if any student wanted to ask any questions or have some difficulty to solve. And because it's an online program, there is an advantage compared to the offline courses, because if it is an offline class, we have to have regular teachers who can serve like certain amount of time. But because if it is recorded, we have found the most famous, like the best actors to come and do the interviews to talk about how they create characters, how they commercialize their performance, how they find ways to experiment. And also we have found professors from our school and actors from both Shanghai Peking Opera Company and China National Peking Opera Company in Beijing to record all these classes for us. So these lectures, sorry. So we have 11 lectures, and they are taught from different perspectives, like the history and aesthetic of Chinese opera, and acting, music, and stage design, and application of the traditional physicality in modern theater, and also in terms of like theater theoretical aspects, like comparison between China and the West, things like that. And we have 4 workshops, like for male and female. There are male and female movements. Male is like how to prepare for a war. It's a set of movements. And female movement is how you use a fan, and male-female excerpt as well. So this is very difficult to learn just off the video. So for this, we have also prepared like Zoom classes. So the students did not just watch videos, they actually had teachers to coach them. So this is like interview. We had 4 very famous actors who's like most well-known in China at the moment to talk about their success and their worries. And also we have uploaded videos, mainly of like East acts, West kind of performances. For example, The Old Man and Sea and Hamlet and Faust, they all come with English and Chinese subtitles. so the audience will be able to understand it. And we also have this Taiji class. And this year, we had 57 students recruited from 31 countries. If we have time, I can show you some student presentations at the end of the course. Somehow they did much better than I expected, because after all, it is an online course. It is very difficult to learn something physical online when the teachers can't actually teach you, can't actually touch you. And after the Peking Opera, we are preparing another set of course about Chinese puppet for the 2020. So you can see there will be 12 lectures and 4 workshops, which the puppet teacher think it is feasible and doable for the students to study online by watching video as well as Zoom classes. Okay, this is my introduction about the course.
Charlie, if you just can show a little bit, because we need to continue with the open space. So if you can start the video, and then after 2-3 minutes,
okay.
you.
I have sent a video to the network.
Just take one and show a little bit. Just take one.
Yeah. Can you play the video for me? Okay. This is a girl from Lebanon. So she has made a video by herself. She recorded what she has learned. You can change to another one, because I have sent 3 videos to share with. This is an Australian Chinese. She's in Sydney. We have a male teacher who teaches this female role type. This is about a lonely lady trying to catch butterfly. You can also change to the next one. This is a student who is presenting the male movement, the basic set of male movement. Like how a man is preparing to go to the battlefield. Well, you can see they are all doing it at their home somewhere that we can't gather together to do that. But still, within such limited time, they could learn the physical movement to such standard. It is amazing. This is an experiment for us as well, and it is succeed my expectation.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Gong Barong,
Okay.
you want to say something at the end?
Thank you, Jali. I think that I hope that next year we'll get more students from all the network schools. And we hope that this kind of experiments will really have some successful fruits. Thank you, Tobias.
Thank you, Gong Barong. So now we are entering the real open space. Open space is not 100% open because we have this screen. And open space, I would consider it's a creative space for you, for your suggestions, for your ideas, for what you need and want on the ITI UNESCO network. Just raise your hands, whatever you have to say, and we will listen to you. Who wants to start? This seems nobody.
So I can start. Sorry, I just have to put the camera on. Hello, everybody again. For me, it's very, very important to say again that I have the big wish that this network is a network for the students, and now I see that mainly I see one or two students, but mainly we are teachers and we are organizers of the classes and of the formation. So I wish that we in the future we can organize more events where we see much more students and much less people with gray hair like me, and that we have a real communication with the students. So that's my wish. I don't know how. I have no idea. For sure, that what we have done in Segovia for me is it's the dream, because the students were talking and we were silent, and I hope that we can find lots of these occasions in the future.
Thank you, Daniel. I think we had another interesting student festival where we just created a conference led by students and for students. So here we invited all the students, but the students probably have no interest to talk with their teachers. But I agree.
No, it's not interest. it's just they have.
No. We were very open. We said to all the members, tell your students to participate in the artists discussions, etc. And they also could participate here. So thank you very much. There are some students I can see from Zurich, and I'm sure there are from other institutions. Okay, thank you, Daniel. Next is Prasad. Do you want to say something, Chongwen?
Yes.
Yes, I just want to give some echo about this issue. Actually, this afternoon we had kind of the team talking, and we all find, oh, this is the weak point of this event. When we do the conceptualize these events, the dialogue part is set up especially for the students. Of course, this is only from our mind. We were not students, so we imagine this might be interested for the students, and they might need take this opportunity to have the communication with artists. But the result is a little bit disappointed. It's true because we did not have a lot of students connect for this event. So I think this is also make our team to continue to reflect on it. We need to find a way. I think the channel maybe is not correct. Maybe the way we organize maybe for the students is not so interesting. So I think this is we as an organizer, we needed to reflect on this point. Of course, we also need your input because you are more in the first line with your students. So if you have idea, please tell us, because I think the network, okay, this is the network for the members. You are the person who is do the work, but while we do it, the behind the final aim is we want to benefit our students. So this is the final aim. So help us to find something which is also can be the interest of the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Jong-Wen. So there is Prasad and then Professor Leon Rubin. Prasad, you have the floor.
Thank you, Tobias. One of the things that I was about to speak was the same concern that Daniel spoke about and what Jong-Wen just now reiterated, that if we could have some kind of performative aspect to this conference, I don't know how to do that. I mean, it is not very easy, I'm aware, but then maybe younger minds might get more interested in being part of this kind of dialogue. Second thing I wanted to talk about was, I mean, it is slightly personal, but I think I should speak about it. That I today definitely miss Jeffrey Sechel, who was instrumental in setting up this network at the early stage, and I just remember him. So I thought I will share this with everyone. And I have to congratulate the entire Secretariat, the way this entire program has been running for the last 5 days without any glitch. It is fabulous. It cannot happen without tireless work that has gone into this. So Jong-Wen, congratulations to you, your entire team whom we met today. And it was lovely to be here for the last 4 or 5 days. Everyone is stuck at home, and really, I mean, I am day by day getting irritated by sitting at home, but it was very, very enriching experience for last 5 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prasad. Leon Rubin, please.
Just a short one. I had a similar thought to Daniel about the student participation, but one thing I could suggest is whatever structures emerge, ask the students who they think famous artists are that they would like to talk to. I mentioned to a couple of students the people lined up for this event, none of which they knew anything about. It's not a value judgment from me, but from a student point of view, I think they need to indicate the kind of people that they want to talk to. And that would make a big difference, I think, in participation. I think we might be surprised by some of the people they would suggest. And
okay.
That's all.
Thank you. Christine, please.
I would like to support both of you, I mean, Daniel and Leon. But at the same time, I would like to oppose, because I think it's not right to make contra. First of all, I consider myself student because I like to learn all my life. And probably a lot of students, or probably a lot of teachers in your academies and all our academies would also like to learn. So I think it would be clever for our network not to make contra of the different, in one activity, there are not enough students. No, well, perhaps it's not the right students activity. Let's think, like Leon says, what could be, beside them, what could be to set up something for the students. But perhaps then we can set up also something, for instance, for teachers, and to make really interesting think tanks and contributions and meetings between the teachers, because they are sometimes more alone than the students. They are sitting and pretending to be very clever constantly, but in fact they would like to learn, just are a little bit shy to say that they should learn something or want to learn something. So I think we should create open structures for the different levels. And if we need to meet all the producers to create wonderful projects for our network, the producers should meet and be clever and find good ways how we can meet. So I recommend not to put one against each other, but to find more different meeting spaces for people to meet about content.
Thank you very much, Christine Schmaler. I have to add, like when we did the student festival, this is my observation. I could see when we had after show discussions, it was a lot of times it was the educators who talked about this in the work, etc., and the student didn't talk. But then at the very last day, we said, this is the day for the students. And we had a lot of participants in this student, and it was extremely interesting for me. For me, basically, that was the nicest and most encouraging part of this event, the Piccolo Teatro and with all the students, because they were discussing the issue about the pandemic. And when you look at through the video, you can look at it on our website, you can see the students have totally another viewpoint on the pandemic. Like it was so refreshing what they said, and it was refreshing what they reflected, etc. And this is totally important that we continue to do that. And it was interesting, there was one professional theater person who sneaked in these student discussions. And this person only was complaining about what the situation is, about the government who does nothing, etc. It was the total different what you heard from the students. So what you say, Daniel, and what we experienced, then I think we should just focus on the students for one event, and then that will be. We could ask the student, as Chris said, what would you like to do and what is your interest? Maybe they would just like to play with each other, or play or whatever. So we have to ask the students and do something for the students. I agree.
I also agree. I think it's a really big challenge if we want to really merge the one event with the one part of students and one part of the professor. It's like the gap between the generation. We should admit sometimes the adults cannot really have the true communication with the young generation. Sometimes they just don't want to speak with you. This exists and it happens. So if we want to really bring these two category which we are keen for and we want to bring them together, then we should be very intelligent and we should have a very, very good concept and to bring them together. So I think for this event, this is the weak point. I totally admit. I think because we choose artists because we think they are brilliant and we think they are how to say can give a lot of experience or whatever, but maybe this is not what need from the students. So this is like our parents said, okay, it's cold, you needed to put your clothes, but the kids said, no, I'm not cold at all. I want to keep my shorts. So I think this is exactly the situation produced in this event. This is why I don't know. I have the feeling the students is not really interested in this dialogue. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just want to make this discussion happen and to try to do better for the next one, because we still don't need. I think if we totally drop the idea about to bring the professors, educators, and the students together, then this is not really the things that I personally want to do, because we want to do the bridge with all the institutions and also the bridge with the students, between the educators, and also the bridge with the audience, with the actors. It's always the bridge is functioning for all the different kind of the people. So I think this is part we needed to do. But I would like ask one question to the Dimitri, because I discovered, Dimitri, you bring your students there and
Yes.
work like participate in this part. And can you give me some feedback, what they think, what they talk, and what's the thing we're really curious to know?
Thank you so much. Yes. I just wanted to briefly participate because we were in the auditorium with the students and they watched all presentations. They were some of them just went out to continue studying, then returned to the auditorium. It was quite free. And what happened? A very wonderful thing. They were continuing to open the great panorama of the theater world. And this process to open and reopen this great panorama of different cultures, presenting themselves and meeting with different people, this is the event which lasts unlimitedly for them. And if we bring them to continue to open and reopen this theater world and different cultures, this is the key how we can involve them. They are very much keen to opening the world, for my students, it was just, a kind of the biggest event of the month. I think it was just in front of their session. They were facing their exams, and they continued to be in the room watching different schools, and some of them continued to connect with via Zoom to. In different days, and then the day after the first day, the third day, and so on. So I think this was the biggest event for them, and this is for me it is the key how to involve them in our activities, just to continue to show them the world is big and they can open new things every day, every connection. They can open something new, and they can get closer to what is really far from them, like Chinese culture, like American culture, like Australian culture, and so on and so on. So for me, it was quite precious, the experience of. I watched just like by their eyes. I put myself on their place, and watched these presentations without pauses. It was quite striking, just sitting with them and watching and discussing, because they continue to open, and now they continue to invent, open and reopen the world for themselves. So I think this is the key.
Thank you, Dimitri. That's very encouraging. So maybe we have to give a little bit of guideline how you can catch the students when they are in your university or institution. Okay, this is an open space. Any other ideas, questions? Aditi, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to share something that has been very, very pivotal in a lot of our work here at IPAR, was the Congress and the Student Festival that we attended in Segovia. I think we were about 10, 11 of us, and I think I speak from a space of somewhere in the limbo, because I don't think I am a full-time student, because as in my student life is way behind me, but I am also not somebody who's a teacher or a mentor or a guide, because I'm somewhere in between right now, and while I'm also studying and exploring, I do know that so the time in Segovia was, I feel like, what I really cherished, and I know a lot of my friends and fellow performers took back, was this constant hunger to learn and interact, and the need to just sort of know each other, which was very beautifully stemmed from the several activities that were planned in those 10, 11 days. So while there were workshops, I mean, of course, over and above the performances, there were many, many workshops. There were many interactive sessions, especially the performance that we did at Carcel, which Daniel and Derek sort of put together for all the students. And that has opened up such a beautiful space for all the students to interact, that some of us are still in touch with each other. We still write to each other. We still touch base about what work we are doing in our respective countries and spaces. So I feel like if some sort of that kind of an activity could be initiated, even if it is virtual, but it's more precise, more directed towards the student participation, whether it is mentoring labs or intergenerational dialogue, or sharing work in progresses or peer sharing sessions, which involve students more, which involve the younger, the ones who want to learn and study more, and then couple it with the sessions that happened over the last 1 week, where we were seeing different schools and where we were these breakout sessions. That could really be an interesting point to meet, is something that I really feel. And I just really want to also thank all of you for the effort that has been put in. And I do know that some of our colleagues, friends, and artists and students were a part of it. And I know that they have and they will. And I will personally benefit a massive amount from this initiative. So thank you, all of you. And just that. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. I want to make a comment. For sure, when you look at all the school festivals that I have participated as a guest, I could see this is a tremendous important thing for bringing mutual understanding and peace to the world, because they are people, young people, who come from different parts of the world, and they can see, oh, there is a Russian, there is an Ukrainian, there is anybody from an American, etc. And they become friends, and they see the world is not like the media tell us or the politicians tell us. And this is an extremely important tool to do that. And I think this is one of the issues of the network. Now we have 64 members, so I guess we even can have more than one student festival a year when one can travel, because you cannot. I was once at the student festival with 24 schools. Forget it. Even the students were with me in the town because we could not see any performances anymore. 4 performances a day. No, two maybe, but one is best. So I tell we have to consider what is possible. We have to explore the possibilities where we can have student festival. We have to explore possibilities what we really can do for the students. And please ask your students what they would like and tell us. Daniel, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I want to say one thing, because what I very much appreciated what Dimitri did, because he put the network really right in the center of the classes in this day, and he put a real importance to our work. And that is something which, for example, I haven't done so much. And I think I learned from this that for the next time, we who are organizing the schools, we have to create the space, because my students, they didn't have time. I mean, they are not there because they're not interested, because they have no time, because they're doing other projects. And I was not able to convince my colleagues to put it like, that has to be like in the, how do you say, Stundenpläne, in the horari, and it has to be in the schedule of the days that there are for, I don't know, maybe not for a whole week, but for a certain time they have to be present. And we have to work that they can really participate, because I think they have a big interest. So if we have to combine this, we have to ask the students, but we have also to organize that it's possible. That's what I just wanted to say.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Now, Justin wants to say something. Justin, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much. For me, I think we have to put a special consideration for the new members who are really new to the networks, to give them more opportunity to get engaged with the other students. For example, my student in our college, the lack of these festivals in South Sudan give them like a room whereby they are locked in themselves. For them, this kind of engaging with the other schools within this visiting and festivals, I think will be a very good experience for them to get to learn and exchange their experience with the others, even just to see where they are, what they need to do, and where's the way forward. So disengaging for me is very nice, and it's helpful for our student in our College of Art, Music and Drama.
Okay, thank you, Justin. So the open space is still open. Anybody else want to say something, an idea, a comment? I only see those who have the camera open, so I don't know if somebody raises the hand. Okay, so I think we don't have to overdo the open space. We can continue this in the future.
Simon raised his hand.
Okay, Simon from Zurich, bitte.
Hi, I just because I just wanted to also take the word because I'm a student still, and to all the things that's been said, I just wanted to underline that I also think that those student festivals that you were talking about, I think there is a great interest for that, and also to meet other people from other schools. I was also studying at the Academia Teatro Dimitri before I came to Zurich, and there I also saw that students also took a great initiative to organize festivals themselves, etc. And I think for the ITI, it could be really a possibility for the ITI to provide a structure or framework in order for the students to take the initiative and organize these kinds of events, or in some sort of sense to provide the possibility for these frames in which people could meet. So I just wanted to say that there is the interest. I'm pretty sure.
Thank you, Simon, for participating in this round and giving the voice. And it's well noted what you would like to have, etc. And we will do our best to. After the end of the pandemic, we really should have festivals. Okay. I cannot see anybody else who raises the hand. If that's not the case, I will go to my very last part, and this is Zhongwen expressed her gratitude. Now I express my gratitude to all of you. You see, when we look at the network, it's since its beginning, it's teamwork. It's teamwork with a goal that we all follow. And without the team, we cannot do anything. It was a teamwork with the late Jeffrey Sichel, who connected with Prasad, who connected with South Africa, etc. And we were at the very beginning, we had an idea, and we said, okay, let's do it. And we connected with Derek, we connected with Shanghai Theatre Academy, and finally we could create this network. But it's a teamwork. It's not. It takes an initiative, and then at one point, who had the idea is not important. It's important what we are creating together, and that we are doing something to follow the goals. And the first team I would like to thank tonight is the team of all of you, of all the participants who were here and showed us their institutions, their work, they opened the door into their rooms. Thank you very much. Without you, we could not do it. Like this was, and the response was extremely positive, and we are very happy that you said yes, we want to participate, and that you participated. Then I would also like to thank the board, because we discussed the issue in the board, we discussed the idea in the board, and the board said, okay, let's do it. So we did it. So all the board members which are still here, thank you very much. And then I would like to thank my team in Shanghai here, which is everybody's somewhere in this house where we are and is working. I would like to thank each of one. Chen Chongwen did a tremendous job. He was really the manager of the whole thing, and we were always in a good spirit to create it. We never gave up, etc. And Chongwen, you have led the team in a brilliant way. Annie Du is was doing a great work with connecting with you, etc. Simin was looking that everything is on Facebook, that everything is starting on, and Tang Yiming, he has all the technical issues under control. So this worked very well. And this week you did a tremendous job, all the four of you, because we are in this building, which we have from the Shanghai municipality. We are in this building and we work until 2 o'clock in the morning. Now it's almost midnight, so you can see very dedicated people. Thank you very much. Then I would also thank the president of the ITI, the International Theatre Institute, Mohammed Al-Afkam, and all the executive council members, some of them are here, for letting us do and letting us develop the network. And I would also thank all those which basically are not part of the network, like Vito Minoia, who we said, okay, you deserve to be here. So Vito Minoia is the president of the International University Theatre Association. They do a lot of student festivals. And then there are other people who said, listen, we cannot participate, but we would like to join here. So I like to thank all of them who joined. And I would also like to thank the agency, Futura Communication, Priska and Sandro, who are uploading some of the videos you see. They were uploaded from Switzerland. So we have a double strategy, so that we did for, if somebody fails to do something, we have another way of showing the videos. So that's the end of today. Thanks a lot for your enthusiasm, your dedication for the network. I hope to see you soon in the future. We are still open for your ideas. We are still open for helping you to do your work, connecting you. You can always, let's say, if you want to say, okay, I want to, for instance, I want to connect with Chris Grady, then we send you the email right away. And another thing which is very important, it's clear not all of you could stay the whole period. Like maybe there are institutions that you could not watch their presentations. So you will be able to do that. Give us a little bit time. We are creating a report on this event and a brochure, a PDF, where you can click on the presentation you want to look at. Let's say you want to look at the presentation of Shanghai Theatre Academy. You click on the PDF and then the website opens, so you don't have to do any research. You just click on the things that is of interest for you. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for participation. Stay tuned, stay active, and stay in good health, and stay also in good spirits.